Welcome to Elgin County Living. I'm your host, Catherine Thompson. Today, my co-host, Kate Burns-Gallagher, and I will be taking you to a variety of unique Elgin County attractions. First, we'll be starting off at Simply Scoops in Port Burwell, and then we'll head to Canadale Nurseries in Central Elgin. And we'll finish off the day right here at the Elgin County Archives. Elgin County is home to a variety of unique attractions, from fine dining, wineries, and unique agritourism operations, to art galleries, museums, sandy beaches, and lush hiking trails. Elgin County has something for everyone. Today, we will visit only a few of these attractions. Our first stop is Simply Scoops in Port Burwell, which has been serving people for over a decade. They have 48 flavors of hard ice cream and 24 flavors of soft serve, and are the perfect location to enjoy a cool treat on a hot day.
Catherine, we're down here now in the heart of Elgin County in Port Burwell with Terry Van Sevenet at Simply Scoops. Thanks so much for joining us today, Terry.
Oh, nice to be here.
You bet. So tell us a little bit about the history of Simply Scoops.
Simply Scoops has been in business for 19 years. Next year we celebrate our 20th anniversary, so we're pretty excited about that.
Wonderful. And what's on the menu here at Simply Scoops?
We have 48 scoopable flavors of ice cream. We have our vanilla soft serve, chocolate soft serve, and the twist. We have 24 flavors of Flavor Blast for the soft ice cream. Wide variety of treats, milkshakes, sundaes, hot fudge brownies, deep fried Mars bars. That's just the ice cream menu. We have lots sundaes and that sort of thing in there. Then we also have the restaurant side where we do the burgers and fries and a full menu there.
Now, you're a member of Savor Elgin, so you specialize in local food too. Tell us a little bit about sourcing the local.
Yes, we do source as much local as possible. Our potatoes, our fresh cut fries are from Moose Burgers, and our burgers are 100% beef from Springwater Packers. 80% of our ice cream is from Shaw's Ice Cream, just south of St. Thomas.
Great. Yeah. So when people come out to Port Burwell, what's there for them to see and do, and then stop into Simply Scoops?
Well, you could always come down and visit the sub, of course. The beach is always a beautiful spot to be. And there's a lot of good eateries around the area. And the lighthouse, of course, the Lighthouse Museum. Yeah, lots of things to do in Port Burwell. And then come get an ice cream. Perfect.
Now, what are your hours if people are looking to come get an ice cream?
We're open from 11 till 9 during the weekdays, at 11 till 10 on Friday and Saturday evenings. We're open from May until Labor Day, and then after that we go to weekend hours only up until Thanksgiving.
Great. Now, before we start filming, you mentioned you support the Balls Bike Rally. Tell us a little bit about that, because I know it's a big event here in Port Burwell.
Yes, this year there were about 1,000 bikes that came into town. It was awesome. Yeah, we're a supporter of that cause for sure. We've had a number of other bike groups come in and join us for an evening here at Scoops, and we support a lot of causes that way as well. And great company and great women and great men that came. It's awesome fun nights. Yeah, it was good.
Great. So you can eat in, eat out. Tell us a little bit about the experience here at Scoops for people.
No one goes away disappointed, it seems. Everybody loves ice cream, it seems. And we've had, I think one of the standout, I guess, things that come to my mind is we've had a number of small children. It's the first time they've had an ice cream cone, and they got to sit on our little children's picnic table over there, and they were pretty excited, and it was a pretty cool moment to be a part of that, actually. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I bet. Now, can people find you online anywhere?
Yeah, we have a website. We're on Facebook, so you can visit us there as well.
Great. So just Simply Scoops, eh?
Do you want me to go? I'm not sure of the...
Oh, that's fine. We're good. Catherine will put it up on the screen for people when we get back to the studio. Great. So any last comments for our viewers out there?
I think. Yeah. Come to Scoops and get ice cream. It's a great spot to be.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for your time, Terry. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting us into this interview.
Great. Thank you. Now back to you, Catherine. Make sure to put that website up on the screen for us.
Welcome back to Elgin County Living. The next stop is Canadale Nurseries in central Elgin, offering a wide variety of the world's freshest and healthiest plant varieties.
Thanks, Catherine. We're now just down the road at Canadale Nurseries with Jim Stinson. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jim.
Thank you for being here.
Well, let's start off with a little bit of history about Canadale Nurseries.
Well, Canadale has been here for almost 60 years now. In 2015, Canadale will be celebrating their 60th anniversary.
Great. So tell us a little bit about what's here at the Nursery Center.
Well, the Garden Center, Canadale Nurseries, is a complete garden center. We have a full selection of trees, shrubs, perennials, evergreens, giftware, everything for your indoor and outdoor gardens and gardening supplies.
Great. Now, I know I get lots of inspiration from those inspiration gardens at the back. Tell us a little bit about those.
Those were an idea that Tom, the owner, picked up when he was in South Africa. Creating these vignette of gardens to give people inspiration on how they can go home and do their own gardens, and show how the plants are used and put together.
Yeah, they are really good and very inspirational for sure. And I was mentioning to you as we were walking through the gift shop too. I forget about the gift shop at the front sometimes when you're wandering through the greenhouses. Tell us a little bit about the gift shops.
Well, we try to have a good selection of seasonal merchandise coming in on a constant basis to have a wide selection from spring, summer, fall, and of course we do a big Christmas display coming up.
Right. And apart from that, you have incredible staff here. Tell us about the staff and the services that the staff can provide.
Well, that's one of Canadale's real calling cards, and that's one thing that sets us apart from many of the other establishments, is that we have our expert, knowledgeable staff who can answer your questions and identify those bugs and diseases and really help you out as far as making sure your gardening is a successful garden.
Great. And you also have a 1-year warranty on all your plants as well?
Yes, we do. All the trees and shrubs and hardy trees and shrubs are all guaranteed for a full year. So just hold on to your receipt and you're well backed.
Wonderful. Now, what about any other services that you provide here at Canadale's?
As far as other services, if you want us to create a pod or do some planting for you or an arrangements and things like that, we can certainly put things together for you. Come in, talk to some of our staff. They'll be happy to help you. If you want some basic landscape advice, we can certainly give you some basic guidance that way with our design and inspiration gardens. But unfortunately, we don't have a home service, but we're happy to help you any way we can here.
Wonderful. So you give the help to everybody to do it at home.
Absolutely. We're looking for those do-it-yourselfers, and we encourage you to get right in there and try it out.
Great. Now, earlier on, you mentioned 60 years in 2015. What's going to be happening with that 60th anniversary here?
We have a lot of great things planned for next year. We have our spring garden show that kicks off the year, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of things established or coming on with that. Plus, there's going to be great sales and promotional events all through the season next year to help celebrate this momentous event.
Great. And you also have a large number of other events, spring annual sales, Christmas events. Can you tell us about those?
Yes. Again, starting with our spring garden show in March, April. That kind of kicks off the season. We have, of course, Mother's Day and all the holidays, promotional events for those events. And fall festivals and events coming through as well.
Great. And for Christmas in November, there's also some sales going on?
Yes, actually Christmas is a big event for us. We have every weekend in November, we have our Christmas open house events. We have Santa, we have reindeer, we have lots of seminars and workshops going on. So lots of things happening at Christmas here at Canadale.
Great. So is there anything you'd like our viewers to know before we send it back to Catherine in studio?
Well, we would love to see you come out to Canadale. We appreciate your business, and we certainly look forward to seeing everyone come out.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Jim. We really appreciate your time today.
Thank you for coming and seeing me.
Great. Well, back to you, Catherine.
Thanks, Kate. It's time for another short break. Welcome back to Elgin County Living. The final stop on our journey today is the Elgin County Archives, where we'll delve into the preservation of Elgin County's fascinating history.
Thanks, Catherine. We're now down at the Elgin County Archives with Stephen Frankham, archivist for the County Archives. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you, Kate.
So tell us a little bit about the Elgin County Archives.
Well, we were established in 2002. We celebrated our 10th anniversary recently. We are an administrative department of the County of Elgin, so our principal job is to take care of the records that the county itself produces and is required by law to keep and make accessible to the citizens of the County of Elgin. These are things like council minutes, bylaws, voters lists, tax assessment rolls, a number of things that the law requires the county to keep permanently and make accessible. So that's our primary job. But we also like to think of ourselves as the sort of unofficial custodians of the historical record of the County of Elgin. So our secondary and perhaps more interesting job, more fun job, is to collect records in all formats that tell the story of the history of the County of Elgin, the city of St. Thomas, since 1852 and even earlier. We maintain a number of high-value collections that document the history of the county and its residents over those years. We can talk about some of them. We'll focus on some of them.
Do tell us about some of the collections that are here in the archives.
Aside from the county records collection, we have, well, I'll talk about three of our principal private collections. First of all, we have the records of the Scott Photographic Studio, which is operated in St. Thomas and in Union from the late 1870s until the late 1980s. And it's a collection of really is of national significance. There's more than 100,000 photograph negatives in glass plate form, plastic, acetate, and those photographs really do document pretty much every aspect of life in the County of Elgin, the city of St. Thomas, for those 100+ years, whether it's the work of county officials or businesses or fraternal organizations. We have photographs that document their history and their activity in this region, and it really is one of our highest value collections and most heavily used collections as well. And a second major collection that we have the records of surviving records of Alma College, the private girls' school that operated in St. Thomas from the 1880s until the early 1990s. And so we have thousands of photographs. We have things like student yearbooks. And one of the things I have out on view here is the graduate's roll for the college, which every graduate of the college signed from. This goes from 1883 to 1988, which was really the last graduating year, and so that's also one of our most highly prized and most heavily used collections. And I should also mention at this time that we're really fortunate in having a number of Alma old girls and who are past students of the college, and they form the basis of the Alma College International Alumni Association, who are really good benefactors and partners with the archives and preserving that collection in particular. So they're really it's really wonderful to have that sort of support from a community organization of that sort. I really wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And a third private collection that I would mention are the records of the various Elgin County Women's Institutes, and in particular the records that the institutes created documenting the local history of their home communities. And these they did in a series of volumes called Tweedsmuir Histories, and they typically they're sort of like scrapbooks in that they contain various sorts of material, but they really are invaluable records in terms of documenting the history of individual communities from east to west in Elgin County. So even a place like Creenan had its Women's Institute and produced a Tweedsmuir history that in many cases in several volumes that document the history of that particular place. And that sort of depth of reporting on a place of that sort is really rare and extremely valuable. So another one of our highly prized private collections. So those three I would mention in particular. So,
now, often when I'm out and about, people ask me how I've got a great old house. I've got to get down to the archives. What's the process? Somebody wants to get a picture of an old house or of their business. What do they do when they come down here?
Well, if someone is doing research on the history of their property, that is typically something that we can help them with. We may have photographs of their property. It's more likely that we can help them do research on the history of ownership of their property by looking at things like old tax assessment rolls that will indicate who owned property at particular times, who was living there. And so that's often very helpful for them. But to tell you the truth, when people come researching their property, we generally refer them first to the county registry office, which is out at the east end of Talbot Street, because their collection of records relating to property ownership is much more comprehensive than ours. But that is a typical question that we're often asked, where people will come in looking for photographs of their house or information about who owned it at a particular time, and we do have records that we can look at that will help people determine that.
Great. And what other kind of inquiries do you have when people come into the archives?
Well, I would say that at least 85% of the people who come through our door are genealogists. They're family historians. They're just looking for information generally on the history of their family, and genealogists or family historians are really a core part of our clientele.
And those people looking for their family background, family history, can also find photographs of the family members as well?
Oh, yes, and we're often able to do that. I mentioned before that we have the surviving negatives from the Scott studio, and I mentioned there were about 100,000 negatives. At least half of those negatives are studio portraits of individuals taken over the years, and we're often able to match up someone looking for old photographs of family members with photographs that exist in that collection. And if not from the Scott Studio collection, then there are often photographs of families showing up in the Tweedsmuir histories that I mentioned.
Great. Now, what are the hours? How can people access the archives?
Well, if you want to attend in person, our normal operating hours are Tuesday to Friday, 10 to 4. We also offer evening appointments on Tuesdays from 6 to 9, and if people want to make use of that, they need to contact us and make a reservation by no later than Friday the week previous to the Tuesday that they want to attend. And we're not open to the public on Mondays, but we are here, and we will accept appointments on Mondays as well from 10 to 4.
Great. And the website also is quite extensive. Can you tell us about the website and the website address?
Oh, sure. That is probably now the principal way in which people access our collection, at least immediately, and determine whether or not there is something of interest here for them to come and look at. And so our website exists at www.elgincounty.ca/archives. We have a wealth of information there about history about the institution itself, how we came to be, information about donating records here, information about volunteering here. A link to our online public access database is on the website as well. And people can link to the database and search pretty much our entire collection. We have more than 100,000 digitized photographs online, and I would say in excess of 50,000 digitized pages of textual records, documents that people can search. And there's also a lot of secondary information, things that we've created ourselves, things like virtual exhibits on specific subjects like plowing matches, or the history of the tobacco industry in the county, or the history of the Fort St. Thomas Assembly Plant. We have virtual exhibits on all of those subjects. And we also have, we've also put up galleries, photo galleries, that document some of our most important photograph collections. So I would certainly encourage anyone who's interested in our services to first consult the website, because there really is an awful lot of information there available to them.
Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, Stephen, and sharing with our audience about the Elgin County Archives.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. And back to you, Catherine, in the studio.